Hello, everyone. Welcome to MindBody TV. I'm Dr. Kendra Ramo. I'm so excited to be here, especially today because I just got back, day before yesterday, from speaking at Kyle Cease's live event, and I met so many people in our community, and a lot of them were in the Embracing Health group, and I feel like I already know you, so it was awesome. And some of them I've worked with, in my private group. So it was amazing to meet people I already have connected with so intimately and meet live in person. So what a gift. It was also a very, very powerful event. So it was a lot. It was super, super intense and really powerful and beautiful. And I was so pooped until like an hour ago. This morning I was still really getting my energy, recalibrated and back. And so I feel amazing now. So today's broadcast is really, universally applicable. It's about the feminine energy in our body and how to activate this and why this is so completely essential, but also like completely left out of the equation for most healing modalities and most approaches. And so whether you're a man or a woman, this is going to change your life. It is we both have that within us. We have masculine and feminine energies within us. And the way I have learned to think about the masculine and feminine energies is the alpha and the omega. A lot of times, alpha is the masculine energy, right? The going, the doing, the outer, the achiever, be productive. It's the seen. And in our society, that's really what gets all the cred. And then it's like, oh yeah, there's really nothing inside of you. When we do get introduced to the feminine energy, it's kind of seen as the beta, like alpha beta. Oh, I'm the subordinate to the real power. I'm underneath or subservient to the alpha, or supporting the alpha, which is like the real player. But nothing could be further from the truth. And so, omega, the feminine, is not beta. It's omega. Alpha and omega are equal partners, equally essential, and equally potent. And we do have the Alive Woman online course. We are running this now with a live workshop and a live Q&A, which goes a lot deeper into this. And specifically what changed my life, how do I cultivate that omega power? How do I strengthen that divine feminine power for creation, for manifestation, for health, for love and relationships, and for even money, So we don't tend to think of that as so powerful, but it is, for me, it was the number one most powerful thing. When I was able to ignite that feminine energy, it changed everything. It allowed my life to be effortless creation instead of what I was trying to do, which was like push the boulder up the hill, sweat it out creation. My relationships were massively more expansive, harmonious, and fulfilling. Even relationships I had huge challenges with were like dissolved because I learned a different way to be in my body. And my life really, there's no comparison to like before and after, struggling to just like alpha my way through everything versus learning the omega, the feminine energy, to feed that so that life can be effortless and manifestation can be really magnificent. And so for those of you who have already joined the Alive Woman program and done it in the past, you are automatically invited to this live workshop that we're doing. It's less than a week from today, next Tuesday, and the live Q&A call that we'll have. If you have not and you want to join this, it is one of the most powerful programs we've ever created. And it is at drkimd.com/alive. And so I'm going to point into some of the major nuggets that you will go deeper into in that course. And one of them is understanding what is omega, why should I even care, and how do I ignite this amazing power? In the system, we have the alpha and omega energies, coursing up through the central channel, moving out through the body, and they really affect our manifestation. When we only have the outer, the masculine, the doing, we get really depleted. And because we're not guided in the feeling and sensing the feminine, what we're doing is usually like, throwing the seeds on cement. It's not the specific inspired action. And so we do a lot of efforting with very little manifestation, or like manifestation of stuff that is just drama and keeps us busy, but it's not actually creating fulfillment. When we invite in the feminine, which is the unseen, the inner, the sensing and feeling, it changes the whole thing. Because you think in that movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, the daughter was having challenges with the dad getting in support of something she was doing. And she was really scared because she's like, I don't think he's ever going to go for this. And the mom said, look, the father, what he says, the husband, and this is old culture, but she is pointing to a truth about masculine and feminine energy. She said, the husband is the head of the household, but the wife is the neck, and the neck can turn the head any direction she wants. Now that can be seen in a really like old school lens, but the truth of it is that Omega guides Alpha. Your inner sensing, feeling, tuning in will guide your outer, your action, and your doing. If you miss that first part, you're just going to do what everyone says you should do. Oh, you got a relationship challenge? Well, you should go see this therapist, and you should do this thing, and you should blah, blah, blah. And usually that will be some form of manipulation. It's not actually coming from wisdom. But even if it is something that came from someone's wisdom, it may have been exactly right on applicable for them in that moment, in that circumstance. And it may have nothing to do with what's the true action for you in this now, in this specific circumstance. You have to, absolutely must have the ability to tune into the now. What is the highest, what will create the highest possibility in my life right now? And then you're acting from guidance. When we act from guidance, when we've activated Omega, we are very specific, right? Like, boom, it's going to be exactly the thing that really creates what I'm asking for. And it is very minimal, meaning one tiny thing could ignite the whole project or the whole intention or the whole manifestation, versus when we're not in our Omega, we turn that off, which most people have suppressed this. We're just shooting in the dark. We'll have to do a lot of action, a lot of efforting, and a lot of trying to maybe get some kind of result. We must have the feminine polarity, right? Because these are opposites, but they work together in order to truly manifest our highest of health. Because I know for me, like my body was dried up. I had no sex drive. I was exhausted. I had to like power my way through my shifts in the ER because I suppressed all of the Omega. So my body couldn't replete. So you're depleted physically in your health. You will age so much faster. You'll find like, oh, my thyroid doesn't work, I need medication. Or, oh, I have adrenal fatigue syndrome, my adrenals are overshot, right? Because Alpha, the outer, the doing, the masculine, is without the guiding connection of Omega, is running on your own energy, your fumes, like you're the source. You're not the source. You can open to let the source, which is the creator energy, come through you. You are always repleted. You are always fueled. You are always guided. And as importantly, everything you manifest or put energy into is going to be fulfilling, meaning it's going to give you that energy back, and it's going to give you that joy back. It's going to amplify your joy instead of depleting it. And let's look at some comments. I would love to hear where you're tuning in from. Thank you for being here. And if you were there this weekend, give me a shout out that we met, or I guess if we didn't meet, you were there. I would love to hear that as well. I love seeing you in Sedona, your wealth guides. I loved seeing you guys too. I saw what you posted on Instagram. It was so great. So refreshing and enlightening. Do we have a visitor?
Yes, we do.
This is Gemma. She gave me my drink and wanted to say hi.
Hi.
I know you missed me this weekend. There's a lot of people on here that were there this weekend, so you can thank Gemma. All right. I love you, baby girl.
Love you guys.
I'll see you soon.
Bye.
That's my Gem. She was excited to say hi. Okay. She's homeschooled right now, so it's been amazing, you guys. I just was overhearing her in one of her classes, and she was talking about how the villain, what is the benefit of a villain, and went on and on about, well, they have more freedom. They can do this, they can do that, they can go outside the rules, they can think outside the box. And I was like, where's she getting this? And I realized, oh, she's in her debate class. And how beautiful is it that she's learning not to just see things linearly. Well, the hero's the good, because she said something like, well, the hero has to do the right thing, has to follow the rules, has to have this trajectory, and the villain could be anything. What she was talking about was getting out of that duality of one is good and one is bad. And she was asked to argue for like the other side, right? Well, so most people, it's obvious. This is good, this is bad. How could I possibly say the villain is good? And I realized when I heard this is very pertinent to what we're talking about today. If we're in the linearity of right and wrong, good and bad, I can only do it one way, we're usually living in a conclusion, because sometimes life is going to ask us to do the thing that we think is the bad thing. We think it's the villain. We think it's wrong, but actually it truly serves a moment. And when we get out of mind and we get into essence, right? Omega will connect you to your essence. You create in a way that is beyond anything you have seen out there, right? Beyond anything you could learn in a book. And anything the mind could be programmed. Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, to comprehend. And so it isn't a matter of like, oh, go do the bad thing. It's a matter of like, whoa, maybe what I'm being called to express is actually healing, is actually of value and benefit. And we saw this weekend as well, like many, many things, many expressions of people going beyond those barriers of what right and wrong, good and bad, what I should be, what I shouldn't be, and truly getting into essence, which will always guide you into the light. So thank you guys. It was great to meet you this weekend too. Thank you guys for being here. Cassia, hello. Mary Kay, Sue, JP, Kelly. I wish I was next time. Well, they will have that again. Kyle Cease is at kylecease.com, and you can be on their list to get alerted for the next one. It was amazing. It was one of the most powerful events I've ever been at. And I used to go to a lot of events, but I stopped because I realized they weren't truly contributing to me. So I kind of had to back off from that for a long time. And I rarely do things like that, but this was really powerful. Oh, beautiful. We met in a smoothie shop on Monday morning, and you held a beautiful space for me, and also physically held me to begin to tap into some deeply suppressed stuff. It's so good to see you. So yeah, when we allow Omega, which is the feminine energy, to live, it releases so much suppressed stuff. Someone's saying, how do you detox your body? How do you detox your life? This is what will do it, right? Because when we are in Omega, we receive guidance. We receive clarity. How it comes is through sensation. It doesn't come through do this or it's supposed to look this way. It doesn't come through a linear pathway. It'll come through an organic sensation. And so if we are blocking sensation, like you won't even know what I'm talking about. Wait, so let me understand. So is it this or is it that way? I don't get it. Wait. And you're going to keep trying to do Omega from Alpha. You'll keep trying to do sensuality from the mind. And in a world where we've been dynamically taught to block and suppress sensuality, and even taught that it's wrong, it's bad, it's dangerous, it will lead you on the bad path. Like you shouldn't enjoy your food too much because then you'll just eat all the time and you'll never stop. You'll be taken over. Or you shouldn't enjoy sexuality too much because that's of the flesh and you'll be hijacked. And nothing could be further from the truth. It's actually the suppression of sensuality that leads to addiction, that leads to overindulgence, that leads to more, I need more, but I never actually get wholeness. And the one thing that is absolutely required to open that power, that power, that omega and sensuality, the guidance, is you must be in allowance of organic expression. For those of you who were in the room this weekend, you saw and heard organic expression, sounds that were like piercing and otherworldly and literally moved the planet, came out, right? And those sounds could be really scary to someone who thinks, oh no, we got to make her feel better, but are healing to those who are sensing the moment. It's healing to everyone. And when you're sensing the moment, you receive that. You feel that. I felt so grateful when the energy finally released and a woman started, letting out all kinds of sounds, because I was about to burst with how much intensity was building. Sometimes organic expression will sound like things or look like stuff that we were taught is wrong. And so when I was writing my notes here for today, I was going to talk about authentic expression, but what came through was the word organic expression. And what I saw was like the shift between those two. Authentic, when I tell you be an authentic expression, okay, what's my authentic expression? Is it this? Is it that? Maybe it's this. Maybe I should learn more about it. Maybe I should study and find out. Organic expression can't be known. It can only be felt. It can't be understood. It can only exist in the now. So I can't think about like, oh, my organic expression is I'm going to be like this. We have to tap into the now in order to receive it. And if we're in allowance of it, I'm not even going to think about what I'm saying. I'm allowing life to speak through me. But if I'm in judgment or censorship of it, I got to first understand what this is before I let it come out. I got to first make sure this is going to create a good result before I let it be expressed. You can't show up in service to the now. And so it takes a huge amount of courage and it takes a huge amount of trust. Do I trust the life that moves through me? And we won't really do that until we come upon the wall. The wall could look like, wow, I've tried everything and my body still won't heal and I can't function in my life like this. The wall could look like my marriage is falling apart. I think we're going to need to get a divorce, but I don't think that feels like the right thing, right? It's just like, I can't do this anymore, so let's leave, versus how else could we do this? How could I be that would let love and connection and intimacy flourish in my life? The wall could look like I have no money. How do I make money? How do I manifest money? And then I realize, wow, everything I've been doing to try to manifest money is just depleting me. It's actually not working. And that's the only time we will open to the organic, because it takes so much courage that until your pain is big enough, you're probably not going to go there. It's too scary to live in the organic. It's too scary to live in the unknown. And so sensuality, the ability to feel and sense the moment and actually have it feel good because I'm not resisting it, requires that I allow organic expression, right? So if it's like, well, I'll soften and receive the moment, but is it going to get me what I want? Because I think it needs to be this and look like this. And my organic seems to be moving me over there. And I'm so sure that that can't be the right way. Right. So there's got to be a trust to the creator of all things that created me and created all of it, that what is in store for me when I surrender and allow organic expression and organic creation is going to be actually a good thing for me, is actually going to be fulfilling to me in ways I could never have seen on my own. So trust. So are you willing to trust? Or are you still holding, no, because I know it has to be like this. I know that I have to get this together and then that will happen. We've got to soften. And this is exactly why I created the Alive Woman course, is because I saw that this component, embodying Omega, embodying the divine feminine, was paramount to health, to manifestation, to relationships, and to wealth. It's the key. We've had a lot of people come through the program and have unthinkable things happen in their lives. One of them, which we shared last week, was from what we've shared in that partner practice, which you could do with your best girlfriend. It doesn't have to be done, if you're like, I don't have a partner, I'm not in a relationship. Find a close relationship you are in, and you can do it with that partnership. The point of it is the alpha and omega energies, the masculine and feminine energies, are within you. So you don't need to go out and find the other. Although any relationship you can practice this, there's the single body practice. The energies are in you. That's why when you have a massive shift, suddenly your relationships change. Suddenly, like the partner of your dreams shows up, and you've maybe tried to manifest that for so long. That's certainly what's happened for me. And then what's continued to grow and expand that relationship. So there are many components in there. And I would say the most important one is practicing deepening your feminine power, your feminine energy. How do I activate Omega? What the heck is it? Where do I feel it? Where do I find it? And so I wanted to share in this broadcast about sensuality, because it's the key to that. As soon as you soften your body, relax, you're breathing more fully, you're going to feel more. You're going to feel more. And that is death to the one who's trying to control. That is death to the one who, I've got it handled, right? I'm the power source for my life. You're not. You didn't create your liver and your kidneys and your blood cells, and you're not recreating them in this moment, but they are being recreated for you. And you can allow a softening, a surrender, and an alignment that allows that to happen more potently. So your thyroid is created in its ideal blueprint, and it works perfectly. I've seen many people get off thyroid medication who were told, you have thyroid disease, your thyroid's broken, this is what you have to do. It's never going to change. It's not true. The body's constantly changing and being recreated. It's just that it's being recreated from the same faulty blueprint. So yes, they're right. Very likely it is going to keep getting created in that faulty way. But what if we shift the blueprint? And that is what happens when we allow Omega, when we allow divine feminine power, when we align with and let that flow through us, is healing. So I've seen, as a physician and a mind body medicine practitioner, that's like the major key to why we try so hard to heal and nothing happens, right? We're using the alpha, the doing, the learning, the outer. Let me change my food. Let me change my diet. Let me just do better. And we're completely ignoring the Omega. In fact, someone wrote in, and I read it this morning, about their money and their, I've been practicing Joe Dispenza and I've been doing this and that, and this seems very similar to it. I really believe in it, but I've not been able to generate money. I know I need to generate money. I haven't been able to generate money. And what I shared was, are you willing to shift the idea that you are generating anything and allow a softening, even though you're scared and it seems like There's no money. I can't soften. I have to keep tensing. Would you allow a softening, even though it seems like that won't create anything? Because that softening is what allows that light to come through and manifest. And it's when we're most scared that we most contract and block that. And so in the Alive Woman program, we go exactly into those practices, from the mind to the heart, from the contracted to the open. Until we open, life force can't flow through to a greater degree. So like healing can't really happen. Money and wealth opportunities can't flow through to a greater degree. Insight, ideas, clarity, wisdom can't flow through to a greater degree. So you're looking at just operating with what you already have and what you already know. And you see what that is getting you. It can't get you more. Okay, I've been creating my health issues. It finally clicked. Being taught I'm the medicine taught me to fix the problem. Oh, being taught I'm medicine taught me to fix the problem. And I followed suit in life. So scary. Yet now this shift is freeing. And I don't see the name because it just says Facebook, but thank you. Okay. Erica, the space we held for Tim was so beautiful. I felt so much relief when that woman yelled out. Yeah, this is a great example because here's a very alpha male. You know, this man has created an amazing organization. He's the founder and CEO. He's doing incredible operations. And when he hasn't had space for his omega, or his feminine, he's depleted. He's exhausted. He said, I'm running out of disguises. He's hitting a wall. Omega repletes. Alpha doesn't just guide our alpha, it actually repletes and fuels our alpha. The receiving fuels the doing. And if we aren't in receptivity, and I had told this woman this morning, the key isn't for you to be a better generator, it's for you to be a better receiver. And Omega, the feminine energy, is receptivity. And so if all you get from this investment in the Alive Woman program, and it's at www.drkimd.com/alive, it will be one of the best investments you've ever made in the history of your life, because we're operating on a different frequency. We're leveraging the universe. You are the universe. It's moving through you. And so when he came and he was like, I'm ready for this. He was a receiver. So many men are ready for this, men and women. It's not just for women. Can I allow that divine feminine, that receptivity? And you saw him receive so much. And you heard what got released as a result of that receptivity. And so we can't just focus on like trying to get out the demons, trying to release the belief system. We've got to open to the healing energy. So from an investment standpoint, you are leveraging the universe. Release the ideas you have about generating money. Open and let yourself receive it. If you are a great receiver, and it can start just with soften your shoulders, breathe more fully. You will see how the world shows up. You've only seen how the world shows up in your contraction. And most of the patterns you're in are contracting you and are subconscious. So you're like, no, I'm open. But your system is in the contraction program. You've only seen how your husband shows up in your contraction. You've only seen how your money shows up when you're in your contraction, right? Your bank account is going to be contracted. Your money flows are going to be contracted. Your husband's going to be contracted. Your sex life, your libido, your thyroid is going to be in a reflection of that contraction. You've only seen life as it is, reflecting your contraction. You haven't seen anything of what life looks like when you're in openness. You haven't seen what life looks like when you align your omega, when you embody and activate your feminine power. So it doesn't matter that, but my thyroid's broken, but I have no money, but you don't understand, I have no resources. Here's what is, and it doesn't matter because that's the reflection of you in contraction. Life's a reflection of you. Everything is pure energy. You're an energy field. You are sending out a transmission. Doesn't matter. It matters that you let life be a mirror for a moment. Oh, wait a minute. My money flows are all blocked up. I wonder what happens when I allow in sensuality and organic expression. And you can't have one without the other. You can't allow sensuality if you're still blocking organic expression. Because if you got rules about like, here's how I could behave, here's what I could express, here's what I could say, but this is it, right? I could say and do and be this, but I got to be this. Well, you're going to block sensuality because, like if I enjoy like a decadent, rich chocolatey, I love the avocado chocolate mousse. And we had some this weekend. We also had this amazing drink. Sedona is really good on like adaptogenic mushroom cacao. Every drink has like all kinds of health and healing properties. And so we had this amazing adaptogenic hot chocolate. And I was like, oh, Alicia, this is so good. I couldn't let in the experience of that adaptogenic cacao if I didn't let my voice be a part of it, right? Like I'd be drinking it and be like, nope, behave. I wouldn't receive the frickin' drink. I wouldn't receive the yum and the awesomeness because it's like, oh, you're not supposed to make those noises. So I'm famous for that, right? Like I'll eat something and everybody in the restaurant knows what I'm eating. Like that movie when Harry met Sally and she's like, oh, orgasming at the table, right? There's expression. Now, I'm not saying to go into some contrived, like fake orgasm, but try out sounding. Oh my gosh, I feel so much better, right? Like if someone's massaging you, are you quiet? And that might be your organic expression. It's not that there's wrongness to that, but usually there's some sound that wants to come out. And if you just practice that one thing, like letting your sensation be sounded, be expressed, start playing with this, you're going to feel you let in a lot more sensation and you let a lot more energy move through. There's nothing more potently activating, fulfilling to a man, to the alpha, than the expression of omega. And that's why, like, one of my mentors, London Angel Winters, pointed out, I think it was last week, porn, one of the main components in porn that's so attractive is the sound. The responsiveness to the action. So imagine everything is like this, right? You go out and do something in the world and it's like, did you like it? Was it good? Did it have impact? Was it received? Did it matter? And think of the man having a sexual experience with a woman who's silent, who has blocked sensuality and expression. How can that be fulfilling? And how can that guide him into his action in the moment? Right? So you're just like, this is okay. And he's like clueless because he can't feel you. Life and the universe are that man, eagerly wanting to please you, completely capable of doing so. But if you're not in your sensuality and expression, they are not guided into that gift. So you're like, oh, I just don't want this anymore. I just want someone who will blah, blah, blah. But you're in complaint, right? You're in closure. It can't happen that way. You have to surrender first. You have to open. I love this. It's how I eat as well. Bliss in the savoring. Yes, I am Kathy King. You've got to let it move through. And so some people think like, oh no, that's too embarrassing. So there's a lot of judgment. If you were in judgment, if you were not in any judgment, what expression would you bring to let through? And I have a little secret. None of the things that would actually be embarrassing would even come through. Like once you release your judgment, you realize like, oh, Everything that comes through my organic expression is beautiful. Everything that comes through my organic expression is beautiful, because even if it's an expression of my deepest shame or my deepest fear, when it's organic, meaning there's no resistance, energy, the movement, the sound, the words that would come through are so beautiful. It's our suppression of our shame that is ugly. You ever see a woman who like injected the face and it's all like plastic, and it might look kind of like magazine attractive, but it's really not attractive? And all you see in that woman is her closure. It's not attractive. It might be like magazine beautiful, but not actually attractive, not actually inviting. Versus a woman who, maybe there's wrinkles, or maybe there's, I don't know, gray or whatever, but she's radiant because she's lit up, filled with her own organic, filled with her sensuality, filled with her organic expression. That's what heals the body. That is the most potent force in the universe. And you can leverage that for your health, for your body, for your marriage, for your money. You can leverage that. Or you can choose to stay closed and buy into the idea, oh, I don't have the money to do that. Oh, that'd be too much time. Home study courses don't work for me. That doesn't work for me. And be in your conclusion. So it's a choice. Will I be in my closure and choose from my closure, or will I choose from my receptivity? So just let yourself delight. Oh my gosh, what if that was for me? What if that was available for me? What if I just like take a little risk and like check out the page, feel it out, read the testimonials? What if I did dare to like open to something that some part of me told me is definitely not allowed? Play. It's a dare, right? Like, I went through a major opening after medical school and residency where there was a lot of alpha and a lot of like clamp down and go do the thing. Definitely a huge suppression of omega. Because you know what? When you're in that place, it's kind of like a war zone. You do not want to connect with sensing and feeling all of those energies. That closure is protective. But is that a long-term solution? Is that the way I want to live my outer life? Is that the way I want to live my life going forward? Now that I'm no longer in medical school, I'm no longer in residency, I'm no longer in that environment where maybe it was helpful to a degree. Yeah, it closed I wasn't having fun. I wasn't enjoying my relationships. I wasn't living in like, wow, the awe and expansiveness of life. I was living a self-improvement program, working really hard. And it was like moderately fulfilling, not the like orgasmic, massive flows and waves of the abundance that is coming into my life now every day. Sensuality is a massive key to abundance. And the way you allow more and more of that ever expanding amounts of sensuality is I allow organic expression. And organic expression really is like, Mario and I were talking yesterday, like if life moved us to go move across the country for 5 months a year, like, all right, this is clarity, this is truth, let's do it. But you've got to connect with clarity and truth versus like, we should do this, we should do that. Okay. And life's going to always provide to match that following 100% of the time, not just in your body, in your money, in your relationships, in your opportunities. So try that out for yourselves, right? Like connect with sensuality, soften your shoulders, soften your body, breathe a delicious breath instead of just a purposeful breath. Eat a delicious meal instead of just a purposeful meal, right? So much of health and healing modalities about the purpose. I'm going to eat this food because, it's going to detox my body and it's going to give me these nutrients and it's going to blah, blah, blah. And it's gluten-free and dairy-free and blah, blah, blah. But what if I would also enjoy my food as a way to heal the body? How do I do that? That's a whole new beginning. How do I enjoy my moment as a way to heal the body? because that is more potent than any food or any medicine. All right. I love you guys. I'm so glad to be here with you. I think that this is one of my favorite topics. I'm so excited. We are running the workshop next week. My husband will be with me to share the man viewpoint on this. I think this will be incredibly helpful for men as well as women. So if you're a man and you're inspired, and I met this amazing man this weekend who said, yes, I realized 10 years into my relationship, it wasn't from the organic. It was from the prescription. Here's how you should be. Here's what you should do. And we were kind of like dead in the marriage, not from our own organic desire of this is who I am and connecting intimately at that level, but they'd kind of lost that. They didn't have that. And he brought it back, which I thought was such a bold move and so beautiful and courageous. So I actually really was inspired to be sure that men know this is for you as well. Mario also has a page we put up so he could connect with people because he is creating something specifically for men. And that is at alivepartner.com for Mario's list. He has not come out with the program yet, but it's something you'll want to tune into if that's it is what you're interested in. So for men, So anyway, I look forward to seeing you in the Alive Woman. It does promise to be one of the most potent investments you could ever make. And yeah, I'm really excited to be sharing this. I love you guys. I'll be here every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time for MindBody TV in the MindBody community in Facebook, which we just celebrated over 10,000 members. And I'm so excited to have you guys here. I love what we're doing in the community. We have amazing mentors here to keep this at the consciousness of what this work is, as opposed to like having this just be like another self-help forum or everyone posting all kinds of information and do this resource. Oh, you got to do that thing. That is not what this is. This is a healing space for catharsis. That's the power of Omega. Just going to hold the space. The catharsis is going to happen. And usually it's a falling apart before there's a new level of foundation and coming together. So don't be afraid. If it feels scary or it looks messy, it is always the healing process. It's a cyclical process, not a linear one. Omega is cyclic. Alpha is linear, right? So let's practice the cyclic because there's so much power there that gets left on the table when we omit this powerful part. All right. I love you guys. Thank you. Living a self-improvement program. The antidote is sensuality. It certainly was for me. It revolutionized my life. And I never realized that like the beauty and the sensuality and like the, put a little bit of sparkle eyeshadow on is not frivolous. It is not frivolous. The world tells us it's frivolous. It is not frivolous to celebrate your sensuality. It is power. It will activate a shift beyond the globe, beyond global proportions that will be heralded throughout the universe. And it can start with you in your body. So you're invited to join us for Alive Woman at drkimd.com/alive. And I look forward to you celebrating your aliveness. All right. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. I'm at drkimd.com to subscribe to what we're doing. You can take the quiz on the front page to get started on your journey. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.